It turns out that there is a condition called not technically recognized in the DSM-5 or psychiatric diagnosis, which is actually potentially even more common than regular depression. So if we look at sort of a depressive episode, the incidence or prevalence is somewhere between 5 and 7.8%. So in a given year, about 5 to 8% of people will have a depressive episode. If we look at high functioning depression, the ranges are a lot wider. It's somewhere between 5 and 41%. With about an average rate, if you pull together these 113 studies, the rate is around 11%. So what separates people who have a mood disorder from high-functioning depression is kind of shocking. It is an over-reliance on coping strategies. So I want y'all to think about this, okay?
Why not?
So let's say in my life, I'm struggling in some way. Let's say I'm a new parent, really common for high-functioning depression. And as I'm not sleeping well, as my spouse is struggling as well, we have a newborn at home who's crying all the time. My spouse is taking maternity leave, but I still have to go into work. You know, it's really important that I go into work because now I'm providing for a family of 2. So I'm under a ton of stress. And so the key thing here is that people who don't crack under the stress and get into a full-blown depressive episode will oftentimes end up with high-functioning depression. And that's what's so confusing about it. The way that people are able to continue plowing forward is because they're actually using coping mechanisms to keep it together. The problem is that while these coping mechanisms may allow you to keep it together, they don't address the underlying problems. So when I'm trying to figure out, does this person have high-functioning depression, I'll kind of ask myself a question. When I sit with this person and I listen to them talking about their lives, does this sound like someone who has a boat that is taking on water? There's damage to the hull and it's taking on water, and they've got a pail and they're scooping water out. If when I sit with someone, this is sort of the feel that I get from them, if it kind of feels like they're working really hard to barely not drown, that's when I think about high-functioning depression.
That one's
So a really
good.
great example of this is the medical students that I used to work with. So, you know, these are kids that work really hard to get into medical school. They start studying arguably in high school and spend 4 years in college here in the United States. They study really hard for the MCAT, and many of their friends end up in med school. Many of their friends don't end up in med school. It's incredibly competitive. And so they're thrilled to finally be in med school, and now I'm going to be a doctor. And then they wake up maybe somewhere in first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and they wake up one day and they really realize, oh my God, I actually don't like medicine. I don't like patients. Like, I had this idea of what being a doctor is, but I hate like spending time in the clinic or spending time in the hospital and dealing with patients. This sort of happened for me. This is like how I wound up in psychiatry. So when I was in med school, I was planning on becoming an oncologist like my dad and doing holistic cancer treatment and saving lives and all that good stuff. And then one day I was in the clinic and I was working with a primary care physician, a GP. And I realized that like I had to look at a lot of feet, like a lot
$1
of
billion?
like diabetic, ulcerous, smelly feet. You know, this is stuff that I sort of appreciate that I had this training, but you have to deal with a lot of really nasty smells. If y'all have worked in a hospital, you know the smell of C. diff, Clostridium difficile, right? So there's like just a lot of nasty
Shut the fuck up, bro.
smells that come with being like a real life-saving doctor. And I just wasn't super interested in that. And what I loved about psychiatry, there's a lot of bad smells in psychiatry too if you're working with the homeless population and in the emergency room. But it's not like you're, you know, dealing with it day in and day out, and then I have this outpatient practice where I'm working with
Okay, I cannot do that right now. I just finished eating.
People,
I
which
will
is just
refund
so different.
that.
And most of them smell pretty good and have good
I
hygiene.
will refund that.
So this is sort of what happens is we have this kind of idea of, okay, like I worked so hard to get into med school and I don't want to quit. I don't want to be a quitter. I want to be a gunner. I want to be a doctor. I want to be successful. And what we find in high-functioning depression is that there is an overemphasis on the idea of role or identity. So I would say to a T, every single patient that I've worked with who has HFD is obsessed with the idea of living up to a role or embodying an identity. If y'all want more information about what the root of those problems looks like, I definitely recommend y'all check out Dr. K's guide, where I have 5 videos about the most common problems, like the most common psychological complexes that I see in my patients. Turns out these are also the most watched videos in the depression guide. also really common for new parents, right? So like, I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good dad. And good dads don't cry. Good dads don't take days off.
Why are we
good
watching
dads
Depression
are there
Teaching?
for their wives, there for
Why
their
not?
kids. I'm going to be a present dad. I'm not going to be a deadbeat dad. I'm going to spend
Sometimes
time
you
with
just
my
need to
kids.
watch
I'm going
this.
to teach them how to cook. I'm going to teach them how to ride the bike. And I'm going to be a good husband. I'm going to be an involved husband. And I'm going to be a provider. And I'm going to go to work. And I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to get promoted. And I'm going to take.
Are you okay, Big Dog?
This is.
I mean,
what
have you
it's
seen
like.
my Twitter
They
post?
sort of have this idea of living
Like
up
a
to a
recent one.
role, and whenever they face hardship,
Well, not the
they
porn one,
will
though.
double down on this idea of role. Now, here's what's really scary. So when
Low-key.
we get overly involved with a sense of
Oh,
identity,
you
a
don't check
role that
Twitter?
we want to live up to,
It's
this probably
fine.
activates the part of our
The
brain
Twitter
called the
post of you
default
wanting
mode
Mari
network.
Kalay episode,
The
but
default mode network is a part of
Shut
our brain
the
that allows us to reflect.
That's
on
not me. What do you
ourselves.
mean?
So when I think about myself, this
I would
kind
never
of
say something like that.
metacognition is when the default mode network activates. The tricky thing is that when the default mode network activates or hyperactivates, this is associated with feelings of depression. So when I have patients who do have mood disorders or even HFD, right, what we tend to
You
see
posted
in them
publicly?
is that they
I didn't post
think
today.
a
What do you
lot
mean?
about themselves. Oh my God, I need to do better. Like literally,
That's
the
not me.
content of their mind
probably
is about
someone
themselves
pretending
in
to
some
be
way.
me.
Now, this isn't like narcissistic.
Hey,
It's not
nursing
like
student,
they're
how are you?
thinking they're great. It is literally, if you like map out their thoughts, they're like thinking like, oh my God, like I need to do better. I need to be better, right? So they're thinking about themselves in a metacognitive way. And we also know from many studies on things like ketamine. So ketamine is probably the fastest acting treatment for
it's
depression.
fish, you
and the
know.
way that it works is it basically shuts off the default mode network.
I gave my
And when I
account
sit with these
fish.
patients who have full-blown depression, they're usually thinking
I
about
trust
how
my
much
homie
like,
so
they're
much.
losers and how their family would be better off without them and how other people are so much better than they
You
are.
my
So
goat.
it's once again thinking about yourself, thinking about yourself, thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
Now in
I know, right?
HFD, when the default mode network turns
I'm not
on,
that
there's sort of a
down
different
bad,
spin
you
to it,
know.
which is they focus on role or identity, right? Like, I want to be a good person. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to be this loser. So they sort of take their lived experience
I
of
almost
the
heard him
moment.
say,
This
"Boy, I
is what
thought
I'm
it was a
feeling.
voice
This
clip."
is what it's like
Bro,
to be me. It's
do you not
tiring,
want
it's
me to
exhausting.
speak?
I'm frustrated with my
No.
wife. I'm angry at my kids. I'm regretting being a parent, which is such a scary thought to have. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm annoyed with my
imagine being a
child.
parent
Incredibly common, right? I sometimes wish I had
this
never had
fucking
kids.
year.
Incredibly common. So they have all of these
Unfortunate.
negative thoughts, and then they run away from them. They push
Yeah,
them
couldn't
away,
be
and they
me.
go towards this sort of idealized role. We also see in high functioning depression a high amount of avoidant coping. So avoidant coping involves denial of what you are feeling or even denial of your circumstances. So we'll see some of this weird like toxic positivity kind of stuff where they'll like, tell themselves all kinds of things to deny their experience. So if I am frustrated with my kid because I haven't slept in 6 months and I'm trying to be a good husband and trying to be a good father, then instead of like being a pussy about it, I'm going to like man the fuck up and like, oh my God, like I have all these negative feelings. Like, fuck that, man. Like, I'm not going to be that loser. I'm not going to be someone who dislikes their kids. I'm not going to be that. So they push or deny those feelings away, or they even deny their circumstances. I'm so privileged. I'm so lucky, which is true, right? So this is the key thing to remember about high functioning depression. These are coping mechanisms. These are things that are actually adaptive and healthy when used in a short-term scenario. So if my boat is taking on water, I absolutely want to have pumps or a pail to like bail that water out while I engage in more permanent fixes. The problem with high functioning depression is that these people will rely on these coping mechanisms to power through while they keep going. The other really scary thing is that avoidant coping is actually associated with a higher level of suicidality, especially in men. And so this is sort of what happens with HFD, is that we're coping, we're surviving.
Coping with
I don't want to
unlivings.
give up, and then eventually
Speaking
things will
of
start to crack.
unlivings,
There's one other
I have
coping mechanism that we have to talk
never
about.
tried
And this
eating
one is really
unlivings.
fascinating. So this is sublimation. So when people
mean, I
have
did
HFD,
try, like,
they do something
fucking
really interesting, which is that when they feel
some
like
guilt,
quitting,
but
they actually
never
double down
unlivings.
and do an even better job. So like, this is where, I don't know if you guys watch anime, like my kids are watching Naruto right now, which is like lots of fun because I watched Naruto like 20 years ago, and wow, the show moves so slowly. Like in one episode, there's so little that goes on. But anyway, so if you sort of look at like the way that our society glorifies powering through, right? So like when someone feels like quitting and oh my god, I'm crying
What?
and I'm sad and I'm a loser.
Unlivings,
like,
but no
I'm not gonna do that.
unlivings.
I'm gonna get better.
What are-
So all of this shonen anime
what
is
is-
about like taking
Huh?
that weakness and turning it into badassness. In psychiatry, in psychology, we call this the process of sublimation. So this is something that happens, like it's literally been studied in medical students, where you feel like quitting. When you're an undergrad and you're thinking about going to medical school, you feel like quitting. And what you do is you take those feelings.
Is
you're
this
like,
what you
"I'ma
feel,
show that
Key?
quitter in me, I'm gonna do even better. I'm gonna work even harder." So some people discover this really, really interesting, kind of toxic but wonderful
this
coping
true?
mechanism of taking that
Hey,
negative
nursing
energy
student.
and doubling down into effort. And so these
Any
people
nursing
will
students here?
become usually pretty successful, right? Because instead of quitting, I'm now working twice as hard. I'm going to show them, and I'm going to show
I
myself.
hate so much
They do
once
this
I got
really
sick just
interesting
seeing
inner
rings for a
alchemy.
month.
The problem is that as these people
You just want to
continue
sleep.
to do this,
Yeah, you're coping.
they wind up in a place that is really not healthy or
You have
happy.
like
Because maybe the
what is
reason
it?
that I wanted
High
to quit med
functioning
school
depression.
was because I didn't like being a doctor. But if I use sublimation and double down and show the world that I'm not a quitter, I will end up in a profession I don't enjoy. Right? So that's like really scary. And that's what I see in high
Yeah, bro. I have high
I see
functioning
people who
depression.
come
What do you
into
mean?
my office and have a midlife crisis or a quarter life crisis. And
What the
these are
fuck is a
people who,
quarter
when they
life
felt like quitting, they
crisis?
didn't want to be a loser, so they kept going.
That's
And
crazy.
then they end up
So
getting
true.
promoted, which
So
is
real.
great on the surface. Except now
Right?
you've got 5 years into
Maybe
this career
you-
that you,
you
don't
do have
enjoy.
a
And
high
then you've got
functioning
10 years
depression.
into this career that you don't enjoy because you're not a quitter. So it's kind of scary, right? Because then you're sort of in this situation where it's like, okay, do you want to
Self-diagnosis
not
is
be
real.
a quitter, but end
Wow,
up
so
miserable
real.
every day doing something that you don't
So true,
enjoy?
so real.
And people with HFD will be like, fuck
Wait,
yeah,
what?
son, that's
What do you mean?
exactly what
Audio
I want.
break?
So
What do you mean audio
this
break?
is when things get really scary because what we
Huh?
see with HFD is that a lot of people
Wait,
end
what
up
do you mean?
cracking, okay? They'll end up sort of the coping mechanisms since you're sort of propagating
Can
a
you, like,
system
explain
that
it?
you're not happy with, you're
Audio
denying
back
your
to
negative
normal?
feelings, you're always doubling down and pushing
Really?
forward.
Wait. Is it because of my... Bro, you don't want me Pixel? Fuck you. Oh my god. Oh, is it because of my DAC? It was only the vid, not your mic. Yeah, I mean, still, you know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It could be the duck. Wait. Wait, I need to troubleshoot this. Bro. Okay. I'm gonna remove this. Also, I'll try removing this. I can't hear anything right now, by the way. Okay, let's test this for a bit. If it works, then it's probably my DAC.
you may wind up in a situation that you don't enjoy at all. And at some point, sometimes what happens is you've been bailing water for so long that you get exhausted, and eventually things will end up overtaking
know
you.
if-
There's about a
if it
3 to
happens
4
again.
times risk compared to the regular population of people with high functioning depression winding up depressed eventually. So it's about a 300 to 400% risk.
Bro, why did you
that at
mention
some
this
point your
right-
coping
just like right now? What the hell?
mechanisms will fail. Now, for a lot of people, this doesn't happen, right? So just because there's a 3 to 4-fold risk doesn't mean it's permanent by any means, or that it's going to happen to everybody.
Oh, my chat
I've worked
hates
with a lot of people who
me.
are like parents who have a really tough period, and once they start sleeping again and processing their emotions and they start having sex again, then things can actually get a lot better. So it's not that this happens to everybody, but eventually things do kind of feel overwhelming. So now the question becomes, okay, so if you've got high functioning depression, what do you do about it? And so this is where we have to understand a couple of basic things. The first is that coping mechanisms are great, but you have to solve your underlying problems, right? If my boat is taking on water, I got to patch that up. So oftentimes what I'll do with people who have HFD is the first thing that we'll do is take a serious look at your life. And what we'll sort of do is I'll kind of give them this exercise where like nothing
Only
is
3
off the table.
seconds?
Okay? So in psychotherapy, this becomes really important because
Maybe
when I
my-
offer reflective listening, right?
Might
When
be
someone
my
says, yeah,
doc,
I'm kind of
actually.
tired from having, kids
think
and stuff like that. Like I want to be a good dad,
That's
but I'm
the
tired.
reason why. Or
And
maybe
sometimes I'll
my
be like,
speaker.
yeah, man, it really sucks, dude. Like,
my speaker's
is
not,
there any
like,
part of you
working
that
properly
regrets
recently.
having children? Right? And you got to ask that
Haven't
question in a very
troubleshooted it.
specific way. You got to create a space that is safe. Because if I ask them, do you regret having children? They're going to be like the avoidant coping mechanism. Well, no. Denial of problem. No. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. So many people struggle to have children.
No,
I should be
finding
grateful.
reasons
It's such
for
a
new docs.
privilege. But if you pay attention to their words, what
Bro.
you'll notice is that there's little cracks around their toxic positivity. Because the first thing that you have to do is acknowledge that you actually
I'll get
have
an audio
problems and let
interface
those
soon.
negative emotions come to the surface. The second thing that we have to focus on with high functioning depression is this idea of a role.
It's not
and
my
the problem
fault.
with this is that oftentimes what my
How are you
patients will do
listening
is
to
they've
7 streams of-
invested so
Right?
much in the role that it feels really hard to quit, right? So I had this idea of being a doctor when I was like 15 years old, and I invested my high school years, I invested my college years, I invested so much, and now
chop
I
it
don't want to
something.
quit.
I
They have this
mean,
idea of being a quitter. So what I'll ask my patients is
I mean, if it only
maintaining
like
the role
started happening
worth
last week.
sacrificing your life? And
Uh,
ultimately, overcoming high
the doc
functioning depression is about
probably makes
understanding
sense.
that you are using these coping mechanisms to propagate a life that is fundamentally flawed. And as we start peeling back those layers, then we can get to the root of the problem, which is ultimately what you have to solve. So if y'all are struggling with waking up every day and feeling like there's no joy in life, if you have spent your whole life devoting yourself to a particular role, consider high functioning depression and consider talking to someone to get some help about it.
Something sexy is coming. That's me. Really sounds like me, bro. Get help. What the fuck is this, man?
Did you know
Anti-meta
that meta is
mindset.
an acronym? I didn't. I always assumed it was just kind of a catch-all term for whatever the best build, character, or strategy happened to be. But it actually stands for most effective tactic available. And that actually makes a lot of sense.
Terp expensive.
Because the
That's
key
why I
word
never
here
got one.
is effective. The meta is what happens when players stop looking at a game
Look at me,
like a
I'm
game
fucking insane.
and more like a problem to solve. Every game eventually gets broken down into numbers. Win rates, damage per second, matchup charts, it's all just math. What starts as experimentation slowly becomes optimization. Then optimization becomes standardization, and that standard is the meta. Once it's figured out and everyone adapts, your experiences become far less unique. Every game, you start seeing the same characters, the same builds, the same decks, the same team comps, the same strategies. And as frustrating as that can be, the meta does exist for a reason. In theory, it's just the natural endpoint of mastery. Players learn a game, begin to understand its systems, compare what works with what doesn't, and slowly refine those ideas until the most effective options are found. There's a
This
certain
way I really
satisfaction
like
in
playing
understanding a game so
Gravedigger.
thoroughly that you can identify the strongest strategies. There's a
Because
reason
there's
tier
no
lists are so
meta in the
popular
game.
and build guides get thousands of views. There's no
You
reason
can
to
literally
nerf
use
yourself.
anything.
If you're going to play a game, why not play it in the most effective way possible? It doesn't ruin the game. It's just what happens when enough people get good at something. But with that being said, I think the meta ruins games.
I fucking hope Roblox doesn't. You'll be surprised, bro. You'll be surprised. There are way, like, more competitive games on Roblox. Fucking Blox Fruits.
All right, maybe that's a bit dramatic. Ruin
Bro,
is a
fucking
strong
music is so
word.
noisy.
But for the sake of your
meta
teammates
is
that
the
refuse
player.
to swap to a better character,
Fucking
let me try
Blox
to
Fruits
explain.
has like 400k players
When
consecutively.
you follow the meta too closely, you'll likely start winning more. But the taste of victory is
I don't know how
noticeably less
big
sweet.
it is now.
You
though.
pick the strongest character
Yeah, I could
because
check.
everyone agrees they're the strongest.
I used to play this game actually. Meow 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 meow. It has 219. Where's it? There we go. 219. This is a very competitive game. Bloxford's community is insane, bro. So true. Wait, I still have my art break on. What the hell? I stopped playing this because it's so grindy as fuck. So basically this is like just one piece. Wait, what? There's a gun now? That's crazy. Hot. And then you keep farming these motherfuckers. Then that's the gameplay. Most entertaining gameplay. And you keep doing this. Till your brain rotted. Yeah. Then there's like stats. Bro, fucking insane. I'll never play that game again.
You run the best build because someone else already did the math for you.
There's
You use
also
the optimal
fucking
strategy because
rivals.
Deviating from it is, statistically speaking, a bad idea. And so you stop
Fucking
playing your way and you start playing the
really
correct
competitive
way.
FPS.
But to me, that feels hollow. Not because the win doesn't count, but because it doesn't really feel like yours. It feels borrowed. And that feeling, that disconnect between success and satisfaction, is where the anti-meta mindset starts. It's why some people always gravitate towards weird characters, strange builds, and strategies that make everyone else in the lobby angry.
Mecha
It's
Chameleon
not always
also on
about being
Roblox.
different
Yeah, we
for the
played
sake
that.
of being different. It's about ownership. If you win with something people dismissed, something unconventional, something you had to figure out for yourself, that
Is the
win
game still
feels
even
personal.
alive anymore?
And I think that's what a lot of players are chasing when they actually go off meta.
Bro, my fucking
But
bald
it isn't
head,
without its
stop
flaws.
taking it.
Going
My
off meta
hair,
sounds
stop
great in
taking
theory.
my hair.
It makes for a good philosophy, a good identity,
let me
a
check.
good title for a YouTube video. Oh yeah! But it also means willingly making games harder for yourself. It means losing more. A lot more. Way more than if you had just picked the most meta option. But sometimes
Player
it's worth
count.
it. And I do understand that sometimes you don't care about who, what, or
19,000.
how you play, you just want to win. I'm not dogging on the players that feel this way. As a matter of fact, I've been there myself.
Yeah, it's like
A few years back, my friends and
People
I
got
wanted to become
bored
a
of it
competitive
already.
Smite team. Not just in ranked, we had dreams
I mean,
of
still
competing in the Smite
impressive
Pro League. We
that
would
it
scrim
peaked
against other teams, compete in
300K.
tournaments, and spend hours talking about strategy.
the OG.
I was our team's support player, and when we would play casually, I would pick the most
Pretty sure
ridiculous gods
the
and
Roblox
experiment
one-
with the wackiest builds. But when it came time to actually compete, I locked in. I would only pick one of the 2 or 3 current best supports and only build using the best possible items. Because at that point, I wasn't there to have fun.
Bro,
I
wait,
was
what?
there
They
to
have
win. And I don't regret those choices.
they
today.
actually have like
I would not have
Real
had any more
Mecha
fun
Chameleon now.
playing off meta in those games.
On
So
Roblox.
I understand those of you that live and die by the meta. But I am here to argue
Wait,
against
let me
the
try
meta.
this.
So I've come up with 3 different examples to try and argue my case. My goal is to show why I prefer to play off meta and how I feel it makes my gaming experiences more fun. And with the hope that whether you feel the same or not, that you'll better understand
Bro,
the anti-meta
the-
mindset.
This has more player count than the fucking game right now.
For single player PvP, I'm going to talk about a game that was just recently released, Pokemon Champions. This is just one example of a single player PvP game. The big one is fighting games, but I feel like I've talked enough about fighting games on this channel, so today I'm talking about competitive Pokemon. The first couple days were a ton of fun.
Wait,
Everybody
this
was
is
trying
better
different
like...
strategies and testing all the new Mega Evolutions,
How do I
but it
even,
didn't
like-
take very long for people to figure out the best team.
Wait, this is
Certain
better
Mega
like...
evolutions, such as
painting
Mega
than
Charizard Y
Mecha
and
Chameleon.
Mega Floette quickly rose to the most used Pokemon. Then pair these with other staples such as
What the hell?
Archaludon, Sneasler, Basculegion, Incineroar, and pretty soon every team starts to look the same. But I don't blame players for using these Pokemon. They provide so much value to a team that you'd be a fool not to use them. But I am nothing if not a fool. And this is where my anti-meta mindset took over. I don't want to use Incineroar because I don't like Incineroar. When my experimenting with Mega Sharpedo got me stuck in Great Ball tier, I could have just said if you can't beat him, join him, and made an exact copy of the rank 1 team to climb. But I refused.
Wait, what the hell? This
I
is
looked
better
through the list
painting
of
system than
available
Mecha
Pokemon
Chameleon.
and saw one that I knew I had to use.
What
And
the
to
hell?
explain why, we have to go back to 2006.
How do you...
I was making my way through Sinnoh when I came across the Maniac Cave. There isn't much in here other than an NPC who wants you to catch a bunch of unknowns. I didn't think much of it. I shrugged off the request and was about to walk out of the cave when all of a sudden, this cute little hippo attacked. I caught it, named it Booger because I was 7
emote.
years old and thought that was hilarious. And before I knew it, he became the backbone of my team. Booger got super overleveled since I always kept him in the lead spot, and he carried me all the way to becoming champion. I've been a big Hippowdon fan ever since.
how do you...
And I knew this was my chance to take Hippowdon to the very top once again. So I trained the hardest hitting hippo the world has ever seen, surrounded
Can
him
I
with
not
a team fully
color
built to
pick?
support him, and I started rolling.
Bro, you need fucking coins to color pick. What the hell? Bro, I'm so fucking cooked. Huh? Wait, I could be a book. Oh shit. Wait. I might be cooking.
I made it to the top of Ultra Ball
Uh,
tier, and it felt like a real accomplishment.
Can I...
Not because I outplayed my opponents with my superior skills, but because I didn't win with the best Pokemon, I won with my Pokemon.
This shit means something to me, man.
That's why I win against the meta so vehemently in this game. To get more meaning out of my victories. To
hello?
win using the Pokemon I want to use rather than what the internet tells me is best. And to prove to 7-year-old me that Booger really is the strongest Pokemon ever. I recently started a co-op Elden Ring run with my friends, and that run actually inspired this video. You might be confused as to why I'm talking about Elden Ring in a video about going against the meta, and to confuse you even more, I'm not talking about the PvP. One of my favorite things about this game is all the super cool weapons, spells, and incantations there are. I've played through Elden Ring about a dozen times, and every time I play, I switch my builds several times throughout my playthrough. In the co-op run, I didn't know what build I wanted to use, so in search of some inspiration, I went to YouTube. You know what you find when you search Elden Ring builds on YouTube?
Bro, what the fuck is that whistle?
Overpowered builds to great Elden Ring. Elden Ring, top 3 faith meta builds. This Swyhander build makes you unstoppable.
Oh my god.
This lady build chooses the DLC. ASMR Melania embraces you. This broken build defeats Radon in just
Am I
3
goated?
hits. The most broken Elden Ring build of all time.
Oh my god. He didn't see
There's
me.
nothing inherently wrong with these videos. It's a part of the power.
Oh no,
fantasy
it's
to be
infection.
So strong that none of the bosses stand a chance against you. But I feel like these builds can take away
I
from
mean,
your
you can
experience.
farm the coins.
When I first beat Consort Radon, it was a battle. It took me probably 6 hours straight of attempts, and when I finally got him,
I guess
it
that's
looked a
how
little
they
like
get,
this.
yeah.
How many times?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
The death's embrace. I no longer keep count. No matter how many times you strike me down, the outcome remains unchanged. Sooner or later, thy guard
Oh
shall
my god!
falter.
Oh my god!
And
He's
when
gonna
that
see me in
time
here.
Comes, I need only be ready.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! They definitely know where I am now.
I can see it so clearly. You have shown me this same strike countless times. And now, it shall be your undoing!
And this is what it looks like if I use a meta build. The boss fights in this game are incredible and are absolutely worth experiencing at their fullest. To trivialize them just takes away from your own experience. So when I play Elden Ring, or any other game like it for that matter, I avoid all the top 10 most broken build videos, and I try to make builds of my own with weapons that I think are cool. It's a part of the fun for me to get creative and think about how to get the maximum damage out of Giza's wheel. Whether that actually works or not is a different story, but it's fun nonetheless. So give it a shot if you
Oh,
have.
it's not
It'll make the fights
noticeable
a
in
hell of a
there.
lot harder, but when you
That's
finally
actually
land
crazy.
that killing blow after the most epic battle the Lands Between has ever seen, you'll understand.
Wow, 100 coins. Oh, whatever. That's
If
that's a
there's
good
one
one.
place where the
actually. I
anti-meta
like that.
mindset gets put to the test, it's in competitive multiplayer. It's in these games where the meta has its strongest hold. Now it isn't just about what you want to do, you have a team to think about. I won't be focusing on one specific game for this section, but rather on the genre as a whole. Competitive team games are built around a constant tension between two questions. Who do I want to play, and who does my team need me to play? Maybe your favorite character is considered weak this patch. Maybe your team composition is missing a tank. Maybe the enemy has picked a hard counter to who you wanted to play. These are the things that have to be considered, and it makes avoiding the meta a lot harder. For example, my favorite DPS in Marvel Rivals is Mr. Fantastic. He has had some very high highs and some very low lows since his release.
Ew, competitive
In
games.
the current state of the
So
game,
true.
he is considered one of the worst
Meta in
characters the
Meta
game,
Chameleon.
with this tier list even saying he's almost unplayable.
I mean, actually, there's like
So if I queue into a ranked
fucking
game,
meta
I
in
have
Meta
to consider
Chameleon,
the
bruh.
consequences of picking Mr. Fantastic.
people are making hacks
If
of
it was just
Meta
me,
Chameleon.
I would pick him regardless.
So
and just have
crazy.
fun. But I'm sure nobody on my team wants to see this portrait get locked in. Arguably, the biggest consequence of picking off
Meta
meta
Chameleon.
is the scrutiny of your teammates.
You're garbage and dog shit.
Bro, I'm not gonna heal you, bro. If you didn't swap, I'm not gonna heal you. You're useless anyways.
Now we have no scan and no heal and 2 movement players. It's a fucking stupid, man.
What fucking life do you?
Man, don't be 0-4.
Oh yeah, 0-4 because of what? You.
Still peeked and died like a fucking idiot. Bro, they're clicking orb. I was going for a timing. Okay, you're an idiot still.
In League of Legends, if you pick a champion that isn't considered meta for the role you're in, there's a very high likelihood that you'll have a teammate either dodge or just start running it down as soon as you die one time. People can be vile in these games, and to avoid that abuse, sometimes you'll sacrifice your own enjoyment to keep your teammates off your back. But if you only ever play what's strongest, something important can get lost.
It's so fucking
Your
true.
decisions start being made by other people. You stop locking in the character you're passionate about. You stop experimenting, and you start complying.
That's why
That's
I
what
love
makes the anti-meta
Gravedigger.
mindset so difficult in competitive multiplayer. It asks you to balance two competing truths: that your team deserves your best effort, and that your enjoyment matters too. So, what do? As much as I would like for there to be a universal answer, I don't think there is one. Sometimes the right decision is to swap. Oftentimes, the best thing you can do for your team is pick the stronger option. But I also think there's value in trusting the characters and strategies you genuinely care about. When you invest hundreds of hours into a character you love, you often become better with that character than you would ever be with the flavor of the month. I don't think the goal is to ignore your team and stubbornly lock your favorite character no matter what, but more so to recognize that there is more to competition than maximizing your win percentage. So I think the answer is to try and find a healthy balance. In hero shooters, if you start on Mr. Fantastic and you go 0-5 in the first few minutes, it's probably a reasonable time to try and swap. In a MOBA, if you see the enemy lock in a character that is a hard counter to the character you wanted to play, maybe go back to the drawing board before locking in. But in the same vein, if you start on Mr. Fantastic and you are absolutely carrying your team, don't let your toxic teammates' comments make you swap. And if Vayne looks like the perfect champ into the enemy's comp,
Dylan. On my way. Dylan, we have to go Vayne.
No, we have to go Corki.
No, Olaf got you. Elsa, we're going Vayne, by the way.
Are you serious?
It's Trundle Vayne.
Shouldn't we just go Corki?
But are you serious? Is it gonna win us the game?
Of course.
then follow your gut and pick Vayne.
Getting on to Alpha. Oh! The three-man knockup. Heroes entrance comes in. Another three-man Caps. Killed Hansama. And that is exactly what you want from your main man in a fight like this. Caps comes up huge. What an amazing performance.
I believe in my serious. Yes, so. Bro.
So what's the takeaway from all this? It's not that the meta is bad and players like me do anything we can to avoid it, but rather explaining the mindset of players that feel like the most effective tactic available isn't the most enjoyable one. So the anti-meta mindset isn't about refusing to optimize. It's about not letting optimization make every decision for you. No matter what type of game you're playing, it's important to remember why you're playing it. Because the best way to play a game isn't always about being the fastest, strongest, or having the most efficient path to victory. Sometimes the best way to play is your way. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what your favorite off-meta pick is and why you like it.
Hecarim!
I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Eli for providing the voice of the Tarnished in the Elden Ring section. Links to his stuff will be in the description, so please go show him some love.
Top
Also, he and I
Hecarim
are working
AP
on a video
build.
together, which will be uploaded on his channel here in a couple months, so go subscribe to him if you want to see that when it drops. Next up on the
Yeah, do you not know Hecarim? What the fuck?
Yes, I'm serious. You see the tiredness in my eyes? You see the sleep depravity in my eyes? I've been thinking about this for the past 2 weeks. This is
My dad got scammed by AI woman for $500,000.
irritated me to a degree that I can't even fathom. I am so angry. The rage boiling inside of my chest is something that cannot possibly be just
How do you
understood
even get
about what's
scammed by
happening here. So
AI?
I'm gonna set the stage for you. I'm gonna set the scene. Obviously, let's just start. Let's do this like a
I
story.
mean, if you're
I
like
was sitting
really
in my
dumb.
household, deliciously just minding my black business. I was buttery on my bed, just being all cocoa buttered up, and I was sitting like a rotisserie chicken, turning around, going left and right, to and fro, when I receive a call. A call from a man that is labeled sperm donor in my phone. Oh, my father. The man whose vast deference I lived inside of. I was in his vast vesticles. I was inside of his balls. I was down there. Me, one of the demigods of the many children my father has. I decide to come out of his little tube, boom, go inside of my mother's egg, and then boom, coalescing. Half the person that hates me, half the person that loves me. We love to see it. Oh, that's beautiful. Now then, bada bing, bada boom, coming in, thing, bang, boom. I'm rocking in like MF Doom. Boom.
Bars.
Oh, I'm a doctor with it. Now, I come out 9 months later, and my father, my beautiful, amazing father, decides to abandon me at the straits of the world. But many moons later, I get a call from this very same sperm donor. Oh, it's my dad. Well, let's see what he has to say. He says, "Hey, son, we gotta hang out, man. I gotta show you something cool." Oh, quite all right, quite excited. It's cool. I'm very excited. He's gonna show me something cool. Now I'm thinking he's gonna show me some of the cool Klux Klan. You know what I mean? You know, they got to rebrand to the same merch. The cool crap. You know what I mean? I was just trying to see what he was trying to say. I was just curious about what he was going to feed me and what he was going to give me. So I proceed to invite him over to my humble abode, this very household.
Humble
And
abode.
he is distraught. He's confused. Now, little known fact about my father, he had prostate cancer and got his prostate removed. And when you don't have a prostate, you cannot get your little buddy up. So to give you two options, you can use a pump or you can get a shot inside your leg or the side of your body, and you can actually be able to stay, you know, rock flaccid for about 2
He's
hours
half
when you have that
Asian?
done. Or you can just pop it up and you can do that, because despite losing the ability of your prostate, you don't lose the ability to actually, you know, you still get, you know, promiscuous. You still get a little bit, ooh, I'm a little bit excited, a little bit that. So I'm a little bit confused about why he's decided to tell me, hey, son, I got some information for you. Really? What information do you have for me, Father? I don't know what's going on. I'm just concerned and scared, and he just texted me, by the way. And I'm just concerned and scared about what he's going to tell me. Is he going to tell me that my inheritance of $12 is gone? Is he going to tell me that a family member that I've never heard of has passed away and I should go to the funeral, and if I don't go to the funeral, I'm a bad person because I never knew them? What's he going to tell me? I have no clue. I'm very perplexed about what information my father could possibly tell me on this, the day of not my daughter's wedding.
You know,
so he
if
proceeds
it's
to say,
interesting.
well, let me just show you. So I get over his shoulder. He signals me over, and he opens his bank account. Or he doesn't, because he can't open his bank account. I said, what's going on? He said, I can't access my bank. I said, I'm not your bank teller. I have no idea. I'm not good at technical sentences. He said, no, that's the problem. Here, watch this. He goes to Cash App. Now, I didn't know you could do this on Cash App. Has anyone, I'm pretty sure many people have, you can go negative on Cash App. I didn't know that. No one told me this information. I didn't know you could go negative on Cash App. That caught me off guard. I sometimes forget Cash App is basically a bank. And it said on the screen, you are banned from Cash App. And I saw the negative number. The negative number said $71,422.
$71,000.
I remember that.
Just go to Vegas.
I was thinking
You'll get
to
it back in no
myself, whoa,
time.
What happened? He said, yeah, God, somebody
Take
scammed
a
me. I was
loan.
confused. Then after that,
Commit
this
commit
moment,
fraud.
after this exact moment, another instance happened. Caught me off guard. A little bit confused. Didn't know this was gonna happen. Immediately after that, he goes to his chime. His chime is negative 25,000. Oh, his main bank account was about negative 5,000. He said, I lost about $100,000 throughout my bank accounts. I said, oh, how? Well, who got you? He said, and he just said something wildly racist, and I'm repeating exactly what he said. I do not hold these beliefs. He said, those damn Indians across the water, the Parjeets got me. I said, oh, cool. Thank you for letting me know that. He said, he said a crazy. He said he's gonna go over there and do something to their children. It was crazy. He said a lot of evil stuff. I'm not gonna repeat exactly what he said, but it was really bad. So he then proceeded to say, son, how do I get out of this? How do I get the money back? How do I get the money back? He said, yeah, you know how to deal with people that scam you. You've been scammed before. Yeah, I have. I've been scammed before, but how did you get scammed? He said, I don't know. And then I saw a text message appear from the top from WhatsApp. This caught me off guard. And then a regular text message appeared and said, so when are you going to send the money, Poppy? So I said, Dad, open that message. He said, oh, this little girl I've been talking to, and I don't understand why she keep talking to me, you know. I'm just an old fart. I ain't got no money. I'm confused. I'm a little baffled by this information. This really caught me off guard. So I said, Dad, open the message. I look at this woman. I have no other way to describe this besides the fact that she was purely AI. I said, Dad, that woman's not real. He said, what? What are you talking about? At that exact moment, upon looking at this AI woman and watching these AI nudes grace my feed among my face in my father's phone, I understood something that most people will spend the greater parts of their life not understanding. Boomers do not have any media literacy when it comes to getting scammed by AI. Let me explain what I mean. This is Emily Black Goth on Instagram. You may not know who this person is, but this person is not real. Nothing on this page is real. You may not know about that. You may have no clue about what I'm about to show you, but this is important. This person all this stuff in this video is AI. Everything here is not real. The foot, all that stuff, that was gross. This is not real. All this stuff, what is this grapefruit? That caught me off guard. I don't know what that was about. The long flight is fake. That's foot. All the foot stuff, all that stuff, this whole thing, that's fake. This whole video, these two people, boom, 3, 2, 1, boom. Everything, this is all AI. All of this is AI. Every single one of these people in here, I don't know who this person is that keep popping up. I'm not sure what's going on there. Giving crazy notes to goth chicks. This is all fake. Even that note, if you look at the note, this was fake. This is a fake note. This is AI right here. This is fake. This is crazy fake. This is AI. This is AI. This is AI. All this is AI. People are getting scammed by this stuff. They have millions of views and stuff of that variety. It's fake. Now, you may think this is the only person that has this, but oh, that page got annihilated. This person is AI. This is AI. This right here, this is AI. This is AI. All of this. Every single instance of this is AI. All of this is AI. And boomers, that's my wife's page, my boomers get scammed by this all the time.
Bro, my
There was
fucking
that
hair!
black
Stop
and
taking my
white girl
hair!
that was half black and half white. They got scam people. And the reason being behind this is because when we see something like this, we are able to pick it out because we're on the internet all day. We have spent much of our youth just picking apart each part of the internet, going through every little vesicle and every little follicle of foreskin, figuring out and deducing what is real and what's fake. We are able to differentiate everything. We're able to tell that blue waffle was fake. We're able to tell that everything in the back of the day was fake. We have been on the internet basically our whole lives. These people have not been on the internet. They would start being on the internet when phones start getting internet. We were on that family desktop just going through Newgrounds and all this other stuff back in the day. Even if you're an iPad kid, you're able to differentiate the small imperfections between
you could
AI.
do that, you know.
That's how we're able to do that because
just
we
need
have
to
a
remove my
better
tracking.
seeing eye. Because
There you go.
we may not be able to do certain things that boomers can do. We can't file our taxes. We can't figure that out. But we're very easy to not get scammed by a lot of stuff. Now, we can obviously still fall for propaganda, but we can't get scammed by a lot of that stuff.
Never
So,
mind. So
let's
you're
talk about that
really
to my
not.
father. I told my dad,
Okay.
I said, hey, this is all AI. This is
guess there
actively
you go.
every single thing. Every these women, they're fake. He said, no, they're not fake. They just busy. I said, Dad,
Look at
why
my
do you
fa-
want to believe in this
look at
so
my
hard?
face.
He said, well, you
Is
just
there a
don't know
brush
it.
buck you
How could
use?
you
No, I
possibly know
curated my own
what I'm doing?
brushes.
Well, my personal stuff. You don't know what I'm doing with my personal stuff. I said, huh? No, Dad, let me explain this to you. I have friends that do this
Yeah, I
to
just
old men.
kept
He
downloading
said,
the
huh?
ones
Yeah,
that I
they'll
could
go
like.
on
That I find
Tinder,
interesting
they'll
to
set the
use.
age to 50 plus, and then they'll use
Some I
fake
just
Tinder
got
profiles
from
to
my
get
friend
men that
and
are 50
some are
plus
like
to send them money.
from the store.
Dad, you're 50 plus. You're getting scammed. How do you send these women money? He said, I don't send them money. Really? How'd they get your bank account details? Well, I don't know. My dad loves not being honest with me. It's his favorite thing on earth. He loves lying right to my face. It is so beautiful. I love the relationship we have. If he was Pinocchio, his nose would go 7 times around the world because he doesn't know how to be honest with anything he says to me. So, I proceed to say, okay, let me go to your PayPal. He said, how do you know I got PayPal? Oh, how do I know he has PayPal? Well, you said you got scammed by Indians. Of course you got PayPal, bro.
Can you jerk it?
Obviously you got PayPal. So he says, okay, go to my
I'm
PayPal.
jerking it.
I'll show you what's going on with PayPal. Oh, my
Yeah.
sweet, milky Jesus. Went to this brother's PayPal. What do you think? What do you think was going on his PayPal?
Negative.
Now, this is where things get really bad. Negative $500,000. Negative $500,000.
Fucking
I
you.
have never known my father to have that much money. I've never seen that. My father, God bless his soul, wasted, and I mean this with my whole chest, wasted his retirement fund. He wasted my mom's and my dad and my mom's and his retirement funds. Both of them collectively together. He pulled it out early to give money to women who he can't even get hard for. He can't even have coitus with these women. And here goes the crazy part about this whole thing. Here's the fun thing. My father is how do I describe this? Talking to a woman at the current moment. Right? Like that's the whole thing that's happening. Right? It's I've never been so shocked I've never been so shocked by all this information. It's actually baffling to me. Every time I hear something from him, it messes me up. Now, I've been holding on to this video for quite some time. I've been holding on to this idea and concept for a minute, but I've decided to make this video because hopefully he will see it. Now the world knows, dumbass. Hey, guess what? Everybody knows about it. Stop doing it, please. I beg of you. You need to get help. You need therapy. You need something. I can't help you. I genuinely can't. I to be honest with you, kind of don't care if this destroys our relationship in any capacity, because I really don't care. I really don't. You keep doing all these actions and wild, evil things all the time. You keep being just fiscally irresponsible, but very charismatic and fun. And I hate it because my father is such an amazingly talented man when it comes to so many things. He's so charismatic is the only way I can really give him. He's brazen. He's fun. I'd even consider him kind. We're a lot the same. But the only difference between me and my father is that he doesn't learn his lesson. He doesn't know how to grow. He has no clue how to grow. And that's the part that really, really messes me up about learning about my father, hearing him speak about everything that's going on
How do
in
I
his
get
life.
my money back
Because every
from
time I hear an
Nalka?
issue with his life, it's his fault.
I mean,
It is his fault. I don't understand how
I
every
mean,
single issue that happens
you want your
is
money
his fault.
back.
I wish that I could say that there was a series of unfortunate events that happened with his life that caused it to
I need to
happen, but
change
no,
this part.
everything that happens is his fault. I'll tell you a little fun aside here. So, about 2 years back, his house caught on fire, and he doesn't have a place to live anymore. His house was just completely caught on fire. I had done a GoFundMe to help him with his house. Here's the fun thing about that GoFundMe: he couldn't receive any of the money. I had set it up to his bank account. You may be confused about how that he didn't get any money if I set up his bank account and went directly to him. So let me explain what happened. This is super cool, super fun. What had happened was he got scammed back in the day. This has been going on for years. If you don't believe I set up the GoFundMe, well, I believe I have a video somewhere on my channel. Let me check. Found the video. This was me trying to get my dad his house back together.
And
right
helping
here.
him out, but it is much more than I actually thought it was going to be. This is my childhood home, and it makes me sad that I have to see it in this state. It destroys me internally and mentally. I don't like that. It is devastating.
So
I
crazy.
don't want my dad to live like this because he is a very large, pivotal part of my life. While he isn't the best father, he is in generally a great friend and a great human, and I love him deeply, and I don't want him to be homeless, and he is in there with prostate cancer for some reason, in soot, trying to find a place to live. I have given him money to have a hotel, and I can't house him currently because we live an hour away from each other. If you guys want to help, there's the Cash App right on screen. There's also a GoFundMe in my bio on the link tree.
So I was trying to help him out, and he couldn't receive any of that money because he was getting scammed so hard. So I tried to pull the money out, but I couldn't do it with my Chime card. I only could pull it out like 1,000 at a time with Chime, and he was very upset with that. And I was trying to give him the money, and it was very difficult. He couldn't receive the money electronically, and then I gave him the money, right? I physically gave him the money, and he said that he spent it at the casino. I think my dad's beyond help. I really do think my father's beyond help, and it sucks because I don't know if you experience this. Maybe this is a thing I have to talk about. My foot. Oh, sorry. The thing I had to talk about is the fact of the matter that I have love for my family. I don't
Put
like
it
my
all on
family.
red.
I really don't. I have love for them because we share DNA. And that's not healthy. It has never been healthy because you should be able to choose your family, I feel. You don't get to decide the family you're born with. And sometimes you got to cut people off. But it's hard because I want them to be better for themselves. It's not like they're actively ruining my life right now. In the past, they messed it up a lot. But right now, they're pretty chill. It's just they keep making mistakes. And they're so close to greatness. So close to actively figuring out what's wrong with how they operate as human beings. And it sucks. It sucks because I crave wanting more for them. I feel as though if I can learn, they can learn. Because we have the same DNA. We have the same genes inside of our bodies. I think that's my issue. I'm such a selfish thing inside of my brain that tells me that, hey, we should be able to see eye to eye. We should be able to figure things out because we have the same thing going on inside of our brains, right? But we don't, because we're wildly different people, right? I just came from you guys. That doesn't mean that we are the same or we are the exact same in any capacity. We just came from each other. Well, I came from you. And I hate being... A child should not have to raise their parents. That should not be how it is. A child should not have to raise their parents. I'm very upset. I'm very upset. Anyways, after we had this conversation, me and my father, he said, well, you just don't understand. I thought you could help me, but turns out you just want to judge me. And he left. He left. Now, currently, he is staying with my brother. I send money to my brother from time to time to help him out because he is dealing with my father. I'm hoping that one day I can get that all fixed one day. But right now, I'm not in a position to do that because I'm just kind of angry. I'm just really angry about this. Sorry I'm airing out my family drama on this channel. That's just what I wanted to do. I just felt like it. Don't know when I'm ever going to release this video. But yeah, it's gonna remain for a little bit. I feel like I just wanted to speak about this for a moment because it's agitating. Anyways, thank you for checking out the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe even share the video. I don't know. But if you guys want to help me out, I have a GoFundMe for my foot. I know it's a GoFundMe merchant here. GoFundMe for my foot because I was attacked recently and my foot is burnt from the top. Maybe this is like retro, like family curse. Cause my dad's house caught on fire. My foot got burnt by oil. A lot of fire. Maybe my family will fall by fire. Maybe I'm the last of my kind. I don't know. No idea. Anyways, thanks so much for checking out my content, my video, and I'm out. Peace. Bye.
There. Happy to try what you need.
You're at a high-stakes private poker game in a $17 million New York townhouse. You meet all these cool guys. He says you should call him Floppy. This one is Hulk Hogan. And this guy looks just like NBA Hall of Famer and Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups. But for legal reasons, he isn't. That's the whole reason you're here, to rub elbows with celebrities and tough guys, and make bank. But tonight won't go as planned. You're about to get royally screwed. For years, star-studded underground poker games were held all over the United States, and allegedly they were rigged. The alleged cheating is said to have been so elaborate, so thorough, even professional poker players were duped. To figure out how all this supposedly worked, we went down some wild rabbit holes.
All it takes is one guy at the table who's suddenly a mind reader. Every time he's got you beat, he calls, and every time you've got him beat, he folds.
In this video, we'll cover the three main methods, each more ingenious than the last.
They think they're playing poker. You know you're not.
This is how a shadowy, elusive cheating ring with ties to the mob allegedly made millions rigging poker games. Much of our reporting is based on the claims of the United States Department of Justice, as outlined in their official documents. But the cases mentioned are ongoing, and all defendants are innocent until proven guilty. Get a drink. Have a seat. It's time to play What? You need a refresher? Oh my God. Okay. Tonight we're playing Texas Hold'em. Right away, each player gets 2 cards of their own. No! These are your cards. Peek at them carefully so no one sees. You don't touch other people's... Okay, your cards are a jack and a 10 of clubs. Promising. Then everyone bets. For now, just toss in the minimum. In this game, that's $100. The next round is the flop. The dealer burns the top card and puts 3 cards on the board face up. These are shared cards. Everyone combines them with their own to make a full 5-card hand. That king and queen could be great for you. Next is the second betting round. You can match the bet of the player before you. If you're feeling confident, you can raise it. If your hand just plain sucks, you can fold. In the next round, the dealer adds a 4th card to the board. Then there's another betting round and one last card added.
You got a straight.
Finally, it's showdown time. The final
My
betting round
Oshish,
before it's time to show
the
your
grilled
cards.
chicken sandwich themselves.
Then, the player with the strongest hand
Hey,
wins.
what's up?
In order from weakest to strongest, these are the
How are
hands in poker.
you?
High card. Like, I've got an ace. Meh. A pair. 2 of anything. The higher the better. 2 pair. Same idea.
There
but
ain't
twice.
no straights in this
3 of a
stream.
kind. 3 is better than 2.
Ha ha ha.
Straight. 5 consecutive
I'll make you
cards.
straight,
For example,
baby girl.
Queen high straight is 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen. Flush. 5 cards of the same suit. 5 diamonds, 5 hearts, etc. Full house. 3 of a kind and a pair, like 3 sevens and 2 nines. 4 of a kind. 2 of a kind doubled. 4 eights, 4 kings, etc. Straight flush. A straight and a flush.
So true.
Like